Hey guys, Jordan Claude James here. Call me Claude, please. Today we had a chest day. We tried to warm up every day with some type of joint training exercise. Here I'm doing some back extensions. This specific motion is going to emphasize the lower back as well as give the hip flexors some attention. So, just to keep the posterior chain link as strong as possible on a daily basis, we try to get in some type of abdominal movement. And if you didn't know, the lower back is a part of the abdominals. So we work that in as often as possible. Excuse me. And that's just a part of the routine. We also get some shoulder rotations in at the end of the exercise. Another joint that I like to train, that I need to train. If you don't know, back in my days as a competitive athlete, while playing football, I tended to roll my shoulders, dislocate them, whatever you want to call it, hyperextend them. They were just a weakness, a weak link, to the point where I wasn't confident in my ability to make tackles, and that was my job. And to the point where I wasn't confident in my ability to make contact with players as hard as I know I can. Me being using my full speed, full strength, unhindered, just running into another player. It's part of the game, and I wasn't confident in doing that. But if I was training like I am now, back then, that wouldn't have been the case. I don't like to think about that, but just for an example, this is why we do these exercises. But I wanted to talk about something a little bit different than exactly what's going on in this workout. Here, I'm a segue to what I was about to say in just a moment, but we got to bench press. Like I said, it's chest day, and we didn't go too heavy. We stayed around 185, and we're really just trying to feel the movement. At this point, we're just trying to feel that mind-muscle connection. We're really just getting in the reps, making sure that we have the weight under control, and we're not pushing for more weight. If anything, we're just pushing for reps. I want to make sure that my reps are perfect. No matter what weight is on the bar, I want to make sure that my form doesn't break down, because as soon as the form breaks down, I'm not working the muscle that I want to. So this is what we're emphasizing in this workout. That's why we don't go too heavy. I can bench around 345, but in this workout, we stayed at 185 because while staying slow, controlled, and not ego lifting, that is more than enough for me. It is definitely a cut. It's definitely takes some, what's the word? Wow, really losing it right now. I have, a good amount going on. I just finished my first semester of school. Could have been worse. Definitely could have been better. Working full-time, not getting the hours that I really hoped for. So there is some stress, but we're not making any excuses, at least not at this very moment. Not not while we're recording, but yeah, we're just showing up. We're showing up, and we're doing our best, and that's all we can really ask for at this point in time. Anyways, what I wanted to get into with you guys was first of all, I'm just going to reiterate the point of showing up, because I don't really remember what I was about to say, if I'm being honest. But showing up is always a part of whatever I'm going to say. It's going to be putting in the reps. It's going to be doing it when you don't want to. It's going to be always striving for a better you. And no matter how often you feel yourself get out of that practice, get out of that mode where you're working towards self-progress and maybe you forget yourself. It's a part of the human experience, and you got to work through that. No matter what you're going through in life, whether it's in business, whether it's in school, whether it's in the weight room, at work, you might feel yourself forgetting, hey, we're here to work on us. We're here to practice the art of showing up and to continue showing up a better version of yourself every day. And as long as you keep showing up, and as long as you keep that in mind, as long as you are intentional with how you spend your effort, that never has to stop. It doesn't, like, as long as you're alive, it needs to not stop. And I think that when you get to the point where it's a constant, where it's always the motivation, that's when you can truly be fulfilled in what you bring to the table every day. You may not be where you want to be when you realize, hey, I'm on it every day. I have it in my mind every day. You may not be where you want to, and that is an important time to remember what the goal is. To show up and be a better version of yourself every day. That is an important time. When you realize that you're not where you want to be, you also need to realize we're still showing up. We're still giving it an effort. And we're still striving to at least be the person that we want to be. If not better than yesterday, we're showing up, giving it the effort, reinforcing the fact that, you know what? Every day is not going to be perfect. I can't be exactly where I want to be right this moment, but what I can do is be doing the things that I want to be doing to get me closer to that goal. And that's just a little bit of motivation that I've been feeding myself. That's where my mind is. That's where I have been. I've definitely had some setbacks recently. I definitely forget myself, forget the goal, and not truly committing the way that I want to commit. And I realize that in the moment, it's hard to see that that's what I'm realizing, that that's what I'm feeling. But when you come back to that moment and when you come back to that realization, it's that much easier to just focus yourself. It's that much easier to be aware and mindful of the attention that you want to pay to life, and the attention and in how to be intentional with your energy. And that's really it, y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't, make sure to dislike. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.